Hello there. Let us continue the chapter structure of the atom, and in today's class let us study about Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. He performed this experiment in the year 1909. Okay, Rutherford performed a very famous alpha particle scattering experiment. The setup of his experiment was let me draw the diagram so that you will understand the setup. So here he took a source. This is a source of alpha particles. Okay, this is alpha particle scattering experiment. So there should be alpha particles. So this is the source of alpha particle. He kept a source which gave out alpha particles. So source of alpha particles. Then he took a thin gold foil. This is a gold foil. Okay, gold foil. And then he bombarded this gold foil with the alpha particles. So alpha particles yahaबाट निस्क्यो. So he bombarded this gold foil with these alpha particles. Okay, and then he put a screen around this gold foil. This screen is scintillating screen. Okay, this is a scintillating screen. Scintillating screen. So this was the setup of on Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, so अब experimental setup देख्नु भयो. So के गर्नु भएछ in his experiment Rutherfordले भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ, so what did he do? He bombarded a thin gold foil. Thin भनेको पतला. Okay, gold foil 0.00006 centimeter thick. यत्रो पातला gold foil लिनुभयो with alpha particles. Okay, with alpha particles. Now what are these alpha particles? Alpha particles are positively charged particles. Okay, these are positively charged and these are also heavy, charged and heavy. So they have a mass of 4 units. Okay, so alpha particles are positively charged पनि हुन्छ, mass पनि हुन्छ. That means their mass is equal to the mass of a helium atom. Okay, helium को पनि atom को mass कति हुन्छ 4 units हुन्छ. त्यस्तै गरी alpha particles को पनि 4 units. That means it is quite heavy. हैन, हाइड्रोजन भन्दा 4 times heavy. किनभने हाइड्रोजन को 1 हुन्छ mass 1 unit हुन्छ. यसको कति छ 4 unit. So this is very heavy particles. Okay, तर what is the difference between helium and alpha particles? Alpha particles are positively charged, helium atom हो, so यसमा charge हुँदैन. Okay, so यस्तो पाराले चाहिँ alpha particles लाई चाहिँ के गर्नुभयो? He bombarded भनेको hit गर्नु. Okay, he bombarded that gold foil with alpha particles. And I told you there was a scintillating screen. Okay, a scintillating screen was also set up. A scintillating screen was set up around that gold foil. Now what is the use of that scintillating screen? Scintillating भनेको it lights up. So whenever something hits that screen, it will light up and leave marks. Okay, so alpha particles are invisible. We cannot see the alpha particles. So how will we know where the alpha particles are traveling? कुन चाहिँ direction में travel गर्दैछ? Invisible छ भने त कसरी चाल पाउनु? So if a scintillating screen is kept around that gold foil, then जहाँ hit गर्छ alpha particles ले, there the screen will light up and then we'll know that the alpha particles is moving in this direction भनेर हामीलाई थाहा हुन्छ. Okay, so alpha particles are invisible particles, are invisible. So to know their direction, so to know the direction of their movement, a scintillating screen was set up. Okay, this scintillating screen lights up whenever anything hits it and it leaves a mark. यहाँसम्म बुझ्नुभयो? Now he conducted that experiment, and what did he observe in this experiment? है सुन्दा simple सुन्छ. यो experiment चाहिँ he did this experiment in an evacuated chamber. Okay, evacuated chamber भनेको vacuum मा गर्नु भएको. भ्याक्युम मा गरे भने मात्रै करेक्ट रिजल्ट्स आउँछ नि त, नत्र एयर छ भने त एयरले गर्दाखेरि त्यो के रे एक्सपेरिमेन्टमा त्यसले ह्याम्पर गर्न सक्छ. सो दिस एक्सपेरिमेन्ट, लेट मी राइट इट डाउन, दिस एक्सपेरिमेन्ट वाज डन इन एन इभ्याकुएटेड चेम्बर. ओके, वाज डन इन एन इभ्याकुएटेड चेम्बर. There is nothing inside it, not even air. Okay, so let us think these are the gold atoms. Gold को sheets लिनु भएको थियो नि त, gold को foil लिनु भएको थियो. Sheet means foil means a sheet of gold. Okay, so these are the atoms of gold that are present in that thin gold foil. Now why did he choose gold? Randomly गरेको हैन है. गोल्ड किन चुज गर्नु भएको भन्दा चाहिँ बिकज गोल्ड इज द थिनेस्ट फोइल. गोल्ड फोइल इज द थिनेस्ट फोइल. थिनेस्ट फोइल सबसे पातला. ओके, नाउ इफ आई टेक अ शीट अफ पेपर, सपोज आई हैव दिस शीट अफ पेपर एंड द एज अफ दिस शीट अफ पेपर विल हैव millions and millions of atoms, but if the sheet is made up of gold, this edge will only have 1000 atoms. Okay, so gold foil भनेको एकदमै पातला हुन्छ. Okay, even thinner than paper, so it is the thinnest foil. That is why he chose gold. Okay, अब यो suppose these are the gold foil, यो चाहिँ पातला sheet हो, त्यसभित्र atoms हुन्छ. So I am showing you the atoms. Now what did he do? He fired the alpha particles from here. So यसरी fire गर्नुभयो. Okay, so he fired the alpha particles. Now as you can see, these are all alpha particles. So most of the alpha particles passed straight through the gold foil. Some alpha particles, they deflected. Okay, deflect भयो through large angles, through small angles. यसरी चाहिँ के भयो? Deflect भयो. Okay, and some alpha particles came straight back. Some भन्दा पनि 1 in every 1000 alpha particle came straight back. हेर्नुस् त, सो यहाँ तीन खालको alpha particles तपाईले देख्नुहुन्छ. जस्तो यो चाहिँ these three passed straight through the foil, हैन, passed straight through the foil, through the foil. Okay, these they deflected angles बन्यो यहाँ, हैन, deflected through small and large angles, and 1 in every 10,000 particle it returned straight back. Okay, so let me write down the observations that was seen by Rutherford. Ani, you have to remember that when Rutherford performed this experiment, there was a team with him. है, उहाँको स्टुडेन्ट्सहरु, उहाँको उहाँहरु मिलेर यो एक्सपेरिमेन्ट कन्डक्ट गर्नु भएको. Okay, now what were the observations? The following observations were made? Okay, what were the observations? Okay, first ma chai most of the alpha particle passed straight through the foil. सिधा छिर्यो gold foil बाट. Okay, second observation, some alpha particles, some alpha particles deflected through small and large angles. Okay, some alpha particles, they deflected through small and large angles. And the third observation was that 1 in every 10,000 particle returned back. Now this third observation was really surprising for Rutherford and his team. Okay, this created great excitement among the team because they were not expecting this to happen. किन भन्दाखेरि सम्झिनुहोस्, मेरोमा I have this thin sheet of paper है, मेरोमा यो thin sheet of paper छ. अब suppose somebody is standing at the other side of the room and is firing a bullet. अब यहाँनिर यो पेपरमा बुलेट हिर्काउँदैछ. What will happen to this piece of paper? Obviously that bullet will penetrate through this paper नि त है. बुलेटले त मान्छेको बडी त छेड्छ, भित्ता त छेड्छ, मेटल्स छेड्छ भने यो पिस अफ पेपर त के हो र हैन, बुलेटले छेड्छ कि छेड्दैन. अब सम्झिनुहोस्, this is gold foil. Okay, this is gold foil and the alpha particles are the bullets. अब सोच्नुहोस् त, जब एउटा बुलेटबाट पेपर छिर्नु पर्ने, पेनिट्रेट गर्नु पर्ने, but it is returning back. सम्झिनुहोस् त. सो यो observation चाहिँ यति साह्रो सरप्राइजिङ भयो सबैजनाको लागि in the laboratory. Okay, so from these observations now certain conclusions were drawn. Okay, अब conclusions पनि निकाल्नु भयो नि त, त्यसै एक्सपेरिमेन्ट गरेर यो देख्यो भने त्यतिकै उयो गर्नु भएन. यहाँबाट चाहिँ अब उहाँहरूले observations के गर्नु conclusions draw गर्नुभयो. So what were the observations made and what were the conclusions drawn here? So observations and the conclusions that were drawn from the observations. Okay, so first observation के थियो? Most of the alpha particles passed straight through the foil. Okay ना, यो first observation थियो. अब यहाँबाट चाहिँ उहाँहरूले के कन्क्लुड गर्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ that most of the space inside the atom is empty. So भन्नुको मतलब चाहिँ एटम भित्र चाहिँ बेसी जग्गा चाहिँ खाली हुन्छ. खाली भएर त स्ट्रेट अवे छिर्नु सक्यो त. Okay, now second observation was that some alpha particles deflected through small and large angles. अब कोही अल्फा पार्टिकल्सले तपाईले देख्नुभयो नि कम्ती एंगलबाट डिफ्लेक्ट भयो, कोहीले ठूलो एंगल बनायो. सो these were deflected through small and large angles. So what were the observations, what were the conclusions भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ the positive charge of the atom occupies very little space. Very little space. अब यो चाहिँ किन भन्दाखेरि अब तपाईलाई याद छ अल्फा पार्टिकल्स कस्तो चार्ज थियो, त्यसमा पोजिटिभ चार्ज थियो. अब यो अल्फा पार्टिकल्स, सम अल्फा पार्टिकल्स चाहिँ डिफ्लेक्ट भयो नि त थ्रु स्मल एन्ड लार्ज एंगल्स. दैट मीन्स के भयो, उसले त्यहाँनिर पोजिटिभ चार्ज भेटाउँदैछ नि त, किनभने पोजिटिभले चाहिँ रिपेल गर्छ. सेम चार्जेसले रिपेल गर्छ सो रिपेल गरेको कारणले ऊ घरि यता गरेर डिफ्लेक्ट भयो so that means some of the alpha particles are encountering that positive charge so that means that positive charge occupies very little space in the atom ठुलो स्पेस अक्युपाई गरेको भए थुप्रो डिफ्लेक्ट हुन्थ्यो नि त तर यहाँ चाहिँ कम्ती मात्रै डिफ्लेक्ट भयो नि सम मात्रै डिफ्लेक्ट भयो प्राय त छिरेरै गयो सो सम मात्रै डिफ्लेक्ट भएको मतलब चाहिँ त्यो समले मात्रै पोजिटिभ चार्ज भेटायो नि त सो द्याट मिन्स द पोजिटिभ चार्ज occupies very little space inside the atom. Okay, and the third observation that surprised everybody in the laboratory was that 1 in every 10,000 particle rebound or returned back by 180 degrees. So straight जाने साथ सट्टै फर्की पनि हाल्यो. So 180 degree बाट चाहिँ फर्क्यो. That means all the mass and positive charge of the atom is concentrated within a small space in the atom and this space is very dense and hard so the alpha particles returned. Okay, so यहाँबाट के बुझे रे भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो जति पनि मास छ एउटा एटमको मास र चार्ज चाहिँ इट इज कन्सन्ट्रेटेड विदिन अ भेरी स्मल भोल्युम इट अक्युपाइज भेरी लिटल स्पेस and it is concentrated within a very small volume and that is very hard and dense भनेको बाक्लो हुन्छ तपाईले if you remember the alpha particles are positively charged as well as they are very heavy so positive charge लाई डिफ्लेक्ट गर्नु heavy particle लाई straight away फर्काउनुको लागि त केही हार्ड चीज हुनु पर्यो नि त त्यहाँ हार्ड प्लस त्यो पोजिटिभली चार्ज हुनु पर्यो किनभने पोजिटिभले त सिधै रिपेल गर्छ नि त है So from here we conclude Rutherford and his team concluded that the mass inside the mass and positive charge inside the atom is concentrated within a very small volume. खाली small एउटा सानो volume मा मात्रै mass र charge हुन्छ entire atom को अरु त empty space हुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ भन्नुभयो. So from these observations and conclusions, now Rutherford gave his atomic model. Okay, and his atomic model is known as the nuclear model of an atom. Okay, so Rutherford ko nuclear model. Let us study about it. So while a nuclear model, he didn't give it directly. Okay, he performed this alpha particle scattering experiment. Then only he gave the structure of the atom. Based on his experiment, he said that atoms is like this. The structure of the atom is like this. Okay, so Rutherford's nuclear model of atom. Okay, nuclear model of atom. From the observations, not only from the observations but also conclusions of the alpha particle scattering experiment. Rutherford gave his nuclear model model of atom. Now here a very important word. We have encountered a very important word, that is nuclear. So let us see what is this nuclear model. Okay, the features of this model are first one, an atom is made up of positively charged nucleus with electrons moving around it. Okay, so first feature, he first Rutherfordle, when he gave his nuclear model of atom, he said that atom is made up of positively charged nucleus. So here word ionucleus, that is why his model of atom is known as the nuclear model of atom. Okay, now about positively charged nucleus le banneko cha bhanera भन्नुभयो नि त. So he was the only scientist who talked about nucleus. That is why one very important discovery made by Rutherford in his alpha particle scattering experiment was the discovery of nucleus. यो तपाईले याद राख्नुपर्छ, Rutherford discovered nucleus through his alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, so he said that there is a nucleus inside the atom, and that nucleus is positively charged, and electrons, they revolve around that positively charged nucleus. Okay, now अब electrons revolve हुन्छ त भन्यो. So अब electrons, and second feature was electrons and nucleus are held together by strong Coulombic forces of attraction. So अब न्यूक्लियस र इलेक्ट्रॉन्स चाहिँ कसरी एकदम मिलेर बस्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ न्यूक्लियस र इलेक्ट्रोनको बीचमा देयर इज अ फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन, जस्तो हाम्रो अर्थ र सनको बीचमा फोर्स अफ ग्रेभिटेसन हुन्छ नि त है. सो त्यस्तै गरी न्यूक्लियस र इलेक्ट्रोनको बीचमा एउटा फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन हुन्छ, दैट इज नोन एज द कुलम्बिक फोर्सेस अफ अट्र्याक्सन. कुलम्बिक फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन भनेको चाहिँ यो चाहिँ एउटा स्टेशनरी भनेको एउटा रेस्टमा भएको कुनै पनि एउटा चार्ज पार्टिकल, दुईटा चार्ज पार्टिकलको बीचमा हुने फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सनलाई हामी भन्छौं कुलम्बिक फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन. किनभने यहाँनिर इलेक्ट्रोन्स नेगेटिभली चार्ज हुन्छ, न्यूक्लियस पोजिटिभली चार्ज हुन्छ. सो पोजिटिभ र नेगेटिभले एकअर्कालाई अट्र्याक्ट गर्छ. सो त्यसलाई चाहिँ कुलम्बिक फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन भनिन्छ. सो इलेक्ट्रोन्स एन्ड न्यूक्लियस आर हेल्ड टुगेदर बाइ दिस कुलम्बिक फोर्स अफ अट्र्याक्सन. ओके, थर्ड फिचर चाहिँ the size of the nucleus, okay, the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. So यहाँ के भन्नुभयो थर्डमा, yes, nucleus हुन्छ यहाँनिर nucleus. Suppose this is nucleus. So electrons, they revolve around it in the nucleus, but the size of this nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. अब सोच्नुस् न, atom त यति साह्रो सानो छ, हामीले यो atoms लाई देख्नको लागि we have to use very powerful microscope. अब सोच्नुस् न, nucleus त अझै atom भित्र हुने, त्यो पनि very small हुन्छ. So its size is very small. So later on, experimentally, it was found out that the size of the nucleus is 1 by size of nucleus is equals to 1 by 10,000 part of atom. Okay, 10,000 part of atom भनेको एउटा एटमलाई 10,000 वटा पार्टमा टुक्रायो भने, बराबरी 10,000 वटा पार्टमा टुक्रा बनायो नि एक पार्ट चाहिँ न्यूक्लियस हुन्छ भनेको. That means it is very small in size. यो चाहिँ बादमा experimentally find out गरेको है. उहाँले साइज त दिनु भएन, खाली यति मात्रै भन्नुभयो, साइज अफ द न्यूक्लियस इज very small as compared to the size of the atom. Okay, now the fourth feature of Rutherford's model is almost the entire mass of the atom is concentrated within this nucleus. Concentrated within the nucleus. हेर्नुस् है nucleus को size एकदमै सानो छ. It is very small in size. तर यसको mass चाहिँ फेरि पुरा बेसी छ. Okay, mass चाहिँ पुरा ज्यादा छ. Atom को जति पनि mass हुन्छ त्यो डल्लै चाहिँ it is because of the nucleus. Okay, not because of the electrons revolving around it, but because of the nucleus. त्यो चाहिँ तपाईले याद गर्नुपर्छ. Atomic mass चाहिँ nucleus ले गर्दा हुन्छ कुनै पनि atom को. र last feature चाहिँ के छ? Atoms are electrically neutral. Okay, atoms are electrically neutral. This point was also given by J.J. Thomson in his atomic model. So he said that atoms are electrically neutral. So Rutherford also said the same thing, that atoms are electrically neutral. That means atoms haruमा कुनै पनि charge हुँदैन. अब तर charged particles त छ. यो negatively charged, यो positively charged भन्नुको मतलब चाहिँ यहाँ के हो? Positive charge and negative charge is equal. So they balance each other and the atoms are neutral in nature. Okay, so this is the Rutherford's model. Though this Rutherford's model was a great discovery in science, but still it had certain limitations. Okay, so let us study about the drawbacks of Rutherford's model. Okay, Rutherford model चाहिँ it is a great contribution to science. किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ Rutherford he discovered nucleus and he said within the nucleus there are positively charged particles, so that is the protons. So discovery of nucleus, discovery of protons was made by Rutherford during this alpha particle scattering experiment. So यो Rutherford को यो जुन चाहिँ nuclear model चाहिँ छ, this is a great contribution to science. तर पनि यसमा पनि limitations छ. Okay, the drawbacks of Rutherford's model. Okay, Rutherford's model. So first drawback चाहिँ के भयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ he said that electrons revolve in orbits. Okay, he said that electrons revolve in circular orbits. And any particle moving in circular orbits, they undergo acceleration. Acceleration भनेको speed. So कुनै पनि एउटा particle यसरी गोलो circular orbits मा move गर्दैछ भने चाहिँ they undergo speed मा घुम्न थाल्छ. Now when they undergo acceleration, you have to remember these are charged particles. Okay, electrons are negatively charged, so these are charged particles. So any charged particle when they undergo acceleration, they would radiate energy. Okay, they would radiate energy. भनेको energy दिन्छ. Okay, would radiate energy and lose energy. And collapse into the nucleus following a spiral path. So यहाँ भन्नु खोजेको के भन्दाखेरि अब सम्झिनुस् न, electrons these are revolving in circular orbits. Suppose this is the electron, यो चाहिँ orbit हो. So when it is moving around circular orbits, it will start losing energy. So lose गरेपछि अघि त ठुलो orbit मा move गर्दै थियो, अब बिस्तारै जति स्पिड बढ्यो उसको energy lose गर्दै जान्छ. So lose गर्यो, फेरि energy lose गर्यो, फेरि energy lose गर्यो, and ultimately it will collapse into the nucleus following a spiral path. भनेको यसरी spiral path घुमेको यस्तो बाटोमा चाहिँ it will collapse into the nucleus. Okay, if we think about Rutherford's nuclear model, यस्तो हुनुपर्छ नि त. Okay, so if this happens, यस्तो पाराले spiral path follow गरेर if the electron collapses into the nucleus, then if this happens, it will take 10 to the power minus 8 seconds for the atom to collapse. So यो हुनुको लागि चाहिँ कति टाइम लाग्दो रहेछ? 10 to the power minus 8 भनेको त एकैछिनमा the atom will collapse. That means the atom is unstable. That means the atom is unstable, but in reality atom त very very stable हुन्छ. Okay, but in reality atom is very much stable. So he could not explain why this atom is stable. उहाँको थ्योरी अनुसार त कोल्याप्स हुनु पर्ने, तर कोल्याप्स त भएको छैन कुनै पनि एटम. सो द्याट मिन्स एटम स्टेबल छ. अब किन स्टेबल छ चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ उहाँको मोडलले एक्सप्लेन गर्नु सकेन. सो Rutherford's model could not explain the stability of the atom. Why atoms are stable, he could not explain the stability of atoms. Okay, and second drawback of Rutherford's nuclear model is that he did not say anything about the arrangement of electrons. In an atom. So atom मा electrons revolve गर्छ मात्रै भन्नुभयो, तर कस्तो पाराले revolve गर्छ, arrangement के छ त्यसको विषयमा केही पनि कुरा गर्नु भएन. So यसले गर्दाखेरि Rutherford's model failed. Okay, so though Rutherford's model was a great contribution to science, but still it could not explain certain observations. Then came another scientist. His name is Niels Bohr. He gave his atomic theory. Okay, so Niels Bohr ko atomic theory. So this is known as the Bohr's model of atom. So first मा जे थम्सन ले दिनुभयो, उहाँको पनि फेल भयो. Rutherford ले दिनुभयो. Rutherford को very एउटा important चाहिँ के रहेछ, discovery of nucleus, but still his atomic theory also failed. Then came Bohr's model. Okay, so a brilliant description of the structure of atom was proposed by Niels Bohr in the year 1913. Okay, so his model is known as the Bohr's model of atom. So let us talk about the postulates of Bohr's model. What are the features of Bohr's model? So features ma first ma ke bhannu, in an atom electrons revolve around discrete or special circular paths called orbits or shells. one very important point that was put forward by Niels Bohr was that he said that yes, electrons, they revolve around the nucleus in circular paths, and he called them orbits or shells, and he said that electrons revolve around separate and distinct orbit. Okay, discrete भनेको separate अलग अलग के अरे orbits मा electrons revolve गर्छ अनि distinct हुन्छ त्यो orbits भनेर first he gave that point. Okay, second मा चाहिँ while revolving in orbits, electrons do not radiate energy. Okay, अघि रदरफोर्डले यो कुरा भन्नु भएको थिएन नि के अरे इलेक्ट्रोन्सहरु यस सर्कुलर अर्बिट्समा मुभ गर्छ भनेर त्यो पनि सेपरेट हुन्छ भन्नु भएको थिएन अर्बिट सेपरेट हुन्छ भन्नु भएको थिएन यहाँनिर निल्स बोरले के पनि भन्नुभयो electrons while revolving around the orbits they do not radiate energy, that is why they do not collapse into the nucleus. Okay, now third point चाहिँ के भन्नुभयो भन्दा चाहिँ now each orbit or each shell it has a definite energy. Okay, so each orbit or shell has definite भनेको fixed energy, has definite energy. So these are also called energy shells or energy levels. So orbit मात्रै नभनेर यसलाई energy shells अथवा energy levels पनि भनिन्छ. Okay, किन यसमा energy हुन्छ? Every orbit मा आफ्नो आफ्नो energy levels हुन्छ. अब कस्तो कस्तोले energy level हुँदो रहेछ हेरौँ. The energy levels are characterized by an integer n. Okay, so energy levels, these are characterized by an integer n. What is integer? Integer is a whole number. भनेको यो डेसिमल पनि हैन, फ्र्याक्सन पनि हैन, यो चाहिँ एउटा whole number हो. So the value of n is equals to where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay, so यस्तो पाराले energy levels हुन्छ. त्यो energy level को आफ्नो आफ्नो energy हुन्छ. So lowest energy 1, त्यहाँदेखि 2, 3, 4 गर्दै हौ त्यस्तो energy values हुन्छ. The integer n is called the quantum number. Quantum number of the respective orbit. Okay, quantum number of the respective orbit. So आफ्नो आफ्नो orbit को आफ्नो आफ्नो quantum number हुन्छ. Quantum number भनेको number हो. So 1, 2, 3, 4 आफ्नो आफ्नो orbit को हुन्छ. Okay, so यो orbits लाई यसरी numbering गरेर पनि हामीले चिन्छ. Numbering गरेको भनेको त्यसको energy level बताको. त्यसलाई नाम अर्को पनि दिन्छ हामी. We give name in terms of alphabets also, and so the orbits can be designated names like K shell, N shell, M shell, N shell and so on. Okay, so a number plus हामीले त्यसलाई alphabetical त्यसको alphabetले पनि हामीले त्यो orbit को नाम दिनु सक्छ, दिएको हुन्छ. Okay, given by Bohr. So these orbits can also be designated. These orbits are also designated as K, L, M, N shells. K, L, M, N dot भनौँ न, त्यहाँदेखि उता के हुन्छ. Okay, K, L, M, N and so on. Right? And so on shell. Okay, now the numbering of the shells, the numbering of the shells, these are done starting from the nucleus. अब कुन चाहिँ shell लाई चाहिँ number 1 दिनु त, या त कुन चाहिँ shell लाई K shell भन्नु त भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ जुन चाहिँ shell चाहिँ nearest to the nucleus हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ K shell, or it has a quantum number 1. Okay, so the shells are numbered from the nucleus side. Okay, nucleus partiबाट number बढिन्छ. So let me show you. Suppose this is the nucleus. यो nucleus हो. यसको वरिपरि orbits हुन्छ. यो orbits, these are also known as the shells, or these are also known as the energy levels. Here you will find electrons revolving around it. Now there are various shells, है, various shells. अब K shell, L shell, M shell हुन्छ भन्दैछ. अनि यसको एनर्जी लेभल पनि डिफरेंट हुन्छ भन्दैछ. Now which shell, अब यहाँ चारटा shell छ, 1 2 3 चारटा चाहिँ shell छ. Now यो shell मा नम्बरिङ कसरी गर्नु या त नाम कसरी दिनु भन्दा चाहिँ न्यूक्लियस को सबसे छेउको shell लाई चाहिँ K shell भनिन्छ. Okay, so this is your K shell, this is your L shell, this is your M shell, this is your N shell. So यस्तो पाराले numbering is done from the nucleus side. Okay, so the first shell is the K shell. Now the electrons that are present in the first shell, यो त shell मात्रै हो, shell भित्र त electrons revolve गर्दै गरेको हुन्छ नि त, है? So the electrons that are present in the first shell will have the lowest energy. Why lowest energy? अब first shell मा भएको electrons त it is nearest to the nucleus. nucleus को सबसे छेउमा छ कि छैन? So nucleus को सबसे छेउमा भयो भने चाहिँ nucleus ले त्यसलाई strong force of attraction ले attract गर्नु सक्छ. So these electrons do not move very fast, so they have the lowest energy level. Okay, so the electron present in the K shell will have lowest energy. Why? As it is nearest to the nucleus, and is held by very strong forces of attraction. By strong forces of attraction, so it will not move very fast. So slow मा move गर्छ किनभने यसलाई जोडले पक्रेर राखेको हुन्छ. So यसको एनर्जी पनि सबसे लोएस्ट हुन्छ. So the electrons in the K shell are said to be in the ground state. K shell are said to be in ground state. Energy सबसे कम्ती, so उनीहरु चाहिँ ground state मा हुन्छ. यो कुरा चाहिँ याद राख्नु पर्यो. So first shell is the K shell, then we start numbering. So जुन चाहिँ electrons K shell मा हुन्छ त्यसको energy सबसे कम्ती हुन्छ. That is why they are said to be ground state. So यो K shell को quantum number कति हुन्छ होला? Lowest भनेपछि कति हुन्छ? 1. किनभने अघि हामीले देख्यो quantum number 1 देखि सुरु हुन्छ. 0 किन नभएको भन्दा चाहिँ यसमा एनर्जी त छ नि त, 0 भनेको त छदै छैन हो, तर यसमा एनर्जी छ, सबसे कम्ती मात्रामा छ. So the quantum number of K shell is 1. So K shell को भ्यालु कति हो? क्वान्टम भ्यालु चाहिँ 1. Okay, now त्यस्तै गरी L shell मा भएको. Okay, so electrons that are present in the L shell, they will have slightly more energy than the electrons in the K shell. किनभने L shell अलिकति टाढोमा छ न्यूक्लियस भन्दा, so force of attraction कम्ती हुन्छ अनि इलेक्ट्रोन्स अलिक छिटो मुभ गर्न सक्छ. So the electrons they have slightly higher energy than that in the K shell. So L shell को quantum number 2 हुन्छ. Okay, so त्यस्तै गरी M N त्यस्तो पाराले. So the energy levels of various shells are like this. K को सबसे कम्ती, त्यहाँदेखि L, त्यहाँदेखि M, त्यहाँदेखि N. Okay, so यो भनेको यतापट्टि सबसे कम्तीपट्टि फेस गरेको हुन्छ, यो सबसे बेसी. So K र L मा कुन चाहिँ बेसी छ एनर्जी? यसको बेसी छ, यसको कम्ती छ. Okay, so यस्तो पाराले चाहिँ एनर्जी goes on increasing as we move from the nucleus towards the outside. So thus an electron can have only certain permissible energy. त्यही कारणले एउटा इलेक्ट्रोनमा certain energy matrai huncha. Okay, thus an electron can have only certain permissible energy, उसलाई न्यूक्लियसले दिएको कम्ती मात्रै एनर्जी हुन्छ किन न्यूक्लियसले जति जोडले तान्यो उसलाई एनर्जी कम्ती हुन्छ जति न्यूक्लियसले कम्ती फोर्सले तान्यो त्यति उसको एनर्जी बेसी हुन्छ सो इलेक्ट्रोन विल ह्याभ ओन्ली सर्टेन परमिसिबल एनर्जी ओके सो दिस वाज द points given by Niels Bohr and his atomic model. So one very important thing that came out of this is that electrons, they revolve in separate orbits, and these orbits, they have different energy levels. So the electrons that are present in each shells or each orbit will have different energies. Okay, now how are electrons arranged around the nucleus? So that is given by Bohr and Bury, and that arrangement of electrons is known as Bohr-Bury scheme, right? Arrangement of electrons according to Bohr-Bury scheme. Okay. So khasma chai English ma BURRY le chai it is pronounced as Berry. Okay, Berry, Bohr-Berry scheme. Okay, now the electrons, these are distributed. The electrons are distributed in various shells or orbits according to a scheme proposed by two scientists. यहाँ दुईटा नाम देख्नु हुँदैछ Bohr and Berry. So first was Niels Bohr, proposed by Niels Bohr, and another scientist was Charles Rugeley. Okay, Charles Rugeley Berry. So यो दुईजनाले प्रपोज गर्नुभएको theory. So त्यो अनुसार चाहिँ हामी electrons कसरी distribute भएको हुन्छ various orbits मा we'll see. Okay, so the rules, there are certain rules that are given by this scheme, Bohr-Berry scheme. So let us study about the rules. So the rules are, first one, the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in any shell is given by the formula 2n square, where n is the, again what is n? N is the quantum number of the orbit. Okay, so यहाँ के भन्दैछ अब shells हुन्छ, we know that there are shells inside the atom. अब यो shells मा चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ shell मा कतिवटा इलेक्ट्रोन आँट्छ त्यो पनि त भन्नु पर्यो नि त है. So कतिवटा इलेक्ट्रोन आँट्छ भन्दा चाहिँ यो फर्मुलाले भन्छ. Okay, so let us find out. Let us say name of the shell. Right? त्यहाँदेखि quantum number of that orbit, quantum number, and then the number of electrons that can be accommodated. In that shell, particular shell. Okay, so हेरौँ यो पनि maximum number है. This is maximum number. त्यहाँ भन्दा ज्यादा त्यो shell मा आट्दैन. Okay, so first name of the shell, first मा हुन्छ K. What is the quantum number of K? Lowest energy हुन्छ, quantum number 1 हुन्छ भनेको थियो. So formula 2n square भनेपछि n should be substituted with this value. So 2 into 1 square भनेको कतिवटा 2. So the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in K shell is 2 electrons. 2 भन्दा ज्यादा फर्स्ट शेलमा आउँदैन. ओके, सो L शेल को कुरा गरौँ. L को क्वान्टम नम्बर 2. सो 2n स्क्वायर भनेपछि 2 into 2 स्क्वायर भनेको कति हुन्छ? 2 square भनेको 4. 4 into 2 will be 8. So there will be 8 electrons in the second shell, that is the L shell. अब आयो M shell. M shell को quantum number 3 हुन्छ. So 2n square भनेको 2 into 3 square भनेको कतिवटा? 18 वटा electrons हुन्छ in this third shell. So see, number of electrons पनि बढ्दै जाँदैछ. Okay, and let us talk about the last त हैन, अझै शेल पनि हुन सक्छ, तर we'll do it till 4 तपाईको क्लासमा चाहिँ. So 2n square is equals to 2 into 4 square is equals to 32. So 32 electrons can be accommodated in this shell. Okay, so बुझ्नु भयो? So यस्तो पाराले हेर्नुस् त, every shell मा there is maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated. So first shell मा दुईटा मात्रै आट्छ, त्यहाँभन्दा बेसी आट्दैन. सेकेन्ड शेल मा 8 वटा, थर्ड शेल मा 18, फोर्थ शेल मा 32. So यस्तो पाराले shells चाहिँ बढिनु सक्छ. Okay, and second point that was given by Bohr-Body scheme was that the electrons are filled in a stepwise manner. Okay, stepwise भनिन्छ. जस्तो फर्स्ट शेल मा पहिला जान्छ नि त, पहिला K shell मा जान्छ, त्यहाँदेखि L shell मा जान्छ, then it goes to the M shell and so on. Okay, so the electrons are filled in a stepwise manner. जताभावी जाँदैन electrons. Okay, आफ्नो shell wise जान्छ. So second point that was given by Bohr's Body scheme was that the electrons are filled in a stepwise manner. Okay, अब थर्ड point चाहिँ के दिनु भयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ the outermost shell भनेको सबसे बाहिरको shell of an atom. एउटा एटममा सबसे बाहिरको shell हुन्छ, त्यो shellलाई चाहिँ we also call it as the valence shell. The outermost shell or the valence shell can have 8 electrons. That is, at the most it can have maximum भनेको नि, it can have at the most 8 electrons. 8 electrons. And the penultimate shell. Penultimate भनेको हामी second last भन्छौँ नि है, second last देखिको अगाडिपट्टिको एउटा अगाडिपट्टिको. The penultimate shell can have at the most 18 electrons. Okay, if permissible according to 2n2 rule ले permit गर्यो भने चाहिँ permissible by 2n2 rule. Okay, if it is permissible by 2n2 rule, then the outermost shell will have 8 electrons. त्योभन्दा बेसी हुँदैन र त्योभन्दा अगाडिको शेलमा चाहिँ 18 वटा इलेक्ट्रोन्स आट्नु सक्छ. Okay, now if the outermost shell is completely filled, भनेको कति? 8 वटा इलेक्ट्रोन्स है. If the outermost shell is completely filled, that means it has 8 electrons completely filled, then the atom is said to be inert. Inert means it does not react with anything. That is unreactive. So अगर last को shell मा, valence shell मा, if there are 8 electrons, then that atom is said to be inert, and there are 6 inert gases on earth. So हाम्रो अर्थ मा पनि 6 वटा inert gas हुन्छ. तिनीहरुको outermost shell चाहिँ completely fill भएको छ. So helium छ है, neon, argon, xenon, radon, krypton भन्ने यो gases-हरु छ. We'll study about it later. And so that those gases, they have their outermost shell is completely filled. So त्यसमा चाहिँ completely fill भएको कारणले गर्दा यिनीहरू दे डु नट रियाक्ट विथ अदर्स, सो दे आर अल्सो नोन एज इनर्ट or they are also known as noble gases. Okay, now the fourth point of the Bohr body scheme is that it is, however, not always necessary to fill up a orbit completely before moving to the next higher orbit. So के भन्दैछ, समटाइम्स के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा अर्बिट कम्प्लिटली फिल नभइकिन अर्को अर्बिटमा पनि इलेक्ट्रोन्स जानु सक्छ. ओके, जस्तो लेट अस टेक वन एक्जाम्पल. अब एउटा छ, यो न्यूक्लियस छ, यो के शेल, एल शेल, एम शेल छ. अब यहाँनिर फर्स्ट शेलमा त दुईटा इलेक्ट्रोन्स अट्छ हैन, अघिको रुल अनुसार दुईटा इलेक्ट्रोन अट्छ. सेकेन्ड शेलमा कतिवटा अट्छ, 8 वटा अट्छ. तर अब यहाँ 8 वटा नबसेर सपोज 6 वटा इलेक्ट्रोन्स बसेर अर्को इट क्यान गो टु द नेक्स्ट हायर अर्बिट अल्सो. दिस इज अल्सो possible, but not always. It is sometimes possible. So it is not always necessary to fill up a orbit completely before moving on to the next orbit. Okay, कोही बेला चाहिँ त्यस्तो डल्लै फिल नगरिकन अर्को अर्बिटमा पनि जानु सक्छ. तर always remember the electrons are filled in step wise manner. K शेलमा फिल गरेर मात्रै L शेलमा जान्छ. L शेल कम्प्लिटली फिल भएन भने पनि केही छैन, तर एक दुईवटा त बस्छ नि त यहाँ, त्यहाँदेखि अर्को शेलमा जान्छ. So the electrons are always filled in a stepwise manner. So according to Bohr body scheme, we'll write the electronic configuration of elements in tomorrow's class. See you then.